it. So let's start with your big picture view of the bush. You know, I know you've got the family heritage on land as well. Explain that to those who might not know about Dean Winter and your worldview.
Yeah, so look, I'm the pretty new leader of the opposition in Tasmania, and my family's from the west coast of Tasmania, out of Queenstown. I'm the fifth generation on my mum's side of Powell, and they were synonymous with mining at Mount Lyell. My grandfather was a liney working to connect our hydro dams. So I come from the west coast originally, but like so many people from the west coast, mum and dad moved south to Hobart to give us a better opportunity for school, better opportunity for work. And so I come from a mining background through my father, but later in life, Dad decided to become a sheep farmer later in life, and he decided to farm sheep in the Central Highlands after retiring as a tradie, very unsuccessfully. But I got to spend a bit of time with him, you know, post the 2019 bushfires, rebuilding fences, drenching sheep, all the things that I didn't think I'd do in my life. So I've had a lot of background through my parents, and then we grew up down in Kingborough, where our local economy is so reliant on the salmon industry, and that's the background where I come from into the parliament.
Okay, so on the salmon question, we heard a very passionate speech from the Premier earlier. What's your message to your federal counterparts when it comes to aquaculture?
Yeah, on day one of being opposition leader, the first place I went to was Macquarie Harbour, near where I'm from, Queenstown, to tell the workers that we support them. We support what they're doing. I think the science supports what they're doing, and they have the support of the Tasmanian Labor Party. What's happening to them is shocking. They have enormous amount of uncertainty around them. They don't know whether their kids are going to be going to school at the local school next year. They don't know. Talking to workers there, they're worried about their jobs. And so our message from Tasmanian Labor...
To Tanya Plibersek, the Environment Minister.
And when I was there a couple of weeks ago, is that these jobs are critical. I think the science supports the continuation of aquaculture at Macquarie Harbour, and there is no doubt that that needs to continue. So our message is very strong. We strongly support these jobs, these workers, as well as Rosebery Mine, by the way. There's another big project there. The Rosebery Mine needs a new tailings dam, and the question mark around that is creating uncertainty for the town of Rosebery on the west coast, a mining town. We can't have decision makers in Sydney or in Canberra making decisions on their own for Tasmania. And if you're going to make a decision against Tasmania's best interests, you want to come to Tasmania and actually tell the workers yourselves. You want to go to Macquarie Harbour, check it out for yourself. You want to go to Rosebery Mine and make sure that you understand very fully, because the best experts in Macquarie Harbour are actually the people working out there every day. It's a beautiful spot.
And the environmental concerns, you've had those allayed?
Well, I've seen the work from the EPA and the industry itself, and there's no one that's invested more in the science than the industry itself. The industry's been working through the Wombat, which is an oxygenation mechanism that is working to make sure that the oxygen levels are correct in the harbour, and that's actually working. The health of the harbour is the best it's been in years. The workers are very aware and very conscious of that, and they will continue to do a great job, and that's why we're backing them.
Well, we will take that message back to Canberra. What about on forestry? Where do you stand? What's the Dean Winter view on that as an industry?
Again, we strongly support native forestry. I think decisions that have been made in other states have been the wrong ones. And you can see that. What's happening in Tasmania at the moment is we're actually exporting whole logs from Tasmania that are going to Victoria, where they've shut down native forestry. It's ridiculous. I think that every Tasmanian log should be milled here. We should be doing downstream processing here in Tasmania. That's what supports towns in the northeast of Tasmania, around Scottsdale, around here in Launceston, in the northwest, where I'm from, down south at Southwood. We have state-of-the-art. We do forestry in Tasmania better than anywhere in the world. We do a great job, and I think we can continue to have a sustainable forestry sector that continues to support building more homes and doing a great job. And we always have, and I think we should continue to do that.
There's been a question around the government's stability off the back of the Jackie Lambie network. There's been some drama with the Deputy Premier losing the infrastructure portfolio. For an opposition leader, it's tempting to have a dig, but do you see the importance of stability?
I do.
For Tasmania right now?
Oh, look, so I was criticised when I got into this job. The first question I asked the Premier was about the TT line, and then I asked another question, and frankly, I kept going. And I've been going at this for 4 or 5 months, pretty relentless with questions about the Spirits of Tasmania, because it's such an important project for our state. And the journalists stopped coming to our press conferences. That's when you know you've gone pretty hard at something. People criticise us for focusing too much. But what we've done is open it up and exposed what's been a shocking failure, the biggest infrastructure failure in Tasmania's history. We've got $1 billion worth of new ships about to arrive and nowhere for them to berth. But at the same time, we've got to provide certainty and stability. And I'm not here to wreck, I'm here to try and build. And I know that my role is to be an alternative Premier, not just an opposition leader. And we've got to make sure that Tasmanians understand that they have a viable choice, a viable alternative to the mess and the chaos that's been through 10 years of Liberal government. I haven't seen too many governments improve after 10 years, and this one certainly isn't improving. In fact, it's going backwards pretty quick, Kieran.
But in terms of the stability question, you're not going to be pushing for an election tomorrow?
No, look, I think if we went to an election, we get much the same result. And what we need to do is build. As a new opposition leader, I've got to introduce myself to every corner of Tasmania, make sure that I'm listening as well. And that's why this event is fantastic, because you get to do some listening as well. Listening and making sure we're building an alternative vision for the state that's positive, that wants to see our economy going forward, the services be delivered, all of the basics that I think have been lost under the current government.
Another issue that, when I was here ahead of the election, that I was surprised at Rebecca White's position on it. It seemed to try and please everyone on the stadium. You've said we're going to back it. We're going to get it done. We want certainty on that front too. Why is that?
Well, unfortunately, between the 12 months to June this year, 5,000 jobs were lost in the Tasmanian economy. And we've got a big project being built, the Bridgewater Bridge, which is a massive project. And Tasmania is only as good as its next big project. And I felt that we needed to back those jobs. Those thousands of construction workers need a next project to go to. And we want to be backing development, jobs and construction. We've also backed the university's move into the city in Hobart, because we think that's a good outcome for students, good outcome for housing, good outcome for our economy. So we're going to back building, we're going to back the economy, we're going to back jobs.
Yeah, it sounds to me like you're taking a pragmatic approach, it's fair to say, on a whole range of issues, whether it be aquaculture at Macquarie Harbour to the stadium. You don't want to be seen as an ideological leader. Is that a fair way to characterise that?
Well, I think we've got to bring everyone with us, and I think the best governments in Tasmania are majority governments, and I think what we're seeing at the moment is a minority government that is really struggling, and we haven't even got to a budget yet, and the Premier's already lost his supply agreement. And so the instability is real, it's concerning, and so I feel the responsibility to continue to back jobs and back projects as much as we can. We support forestry, mining, aquaculture. We support renewable energy, which is a huge story for Tasmania. And we'll continue to back jobs, working people in this parliament. There might be some instability through the Jackie Lambie network. Jackie's very well known for firing up. She's not very well known for stability. So I'll do the stability piece as best I can, even though the government is having quite a few issues at the moment.
Dean Winter, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Please put your hands together.
Thanks, Kieran. Appreciate it.